Hi guys, in this video we're going to be painting the peace sign. To start, just make sure you have your canvas with the sketch, a jar or a cup of water for washing your brushes. You're going to need a towel for drying off your brushes, and of course, your brushes. And this one, you're also going to need a black Sharpie marker. Doesn't necessarily have to be black. You do want it to be permanent. That way when you paint over it, it doesn't like bleed and blend all over. So I'm gonna just use this Sharpie for my first step. And I'm just gonna outline the sketch. This way I can paint over it and still see where my lines are. They should cover later because this whole thing gets outlined in black. So don't worry that they might still show through. You just want a nice dark color. Pretty much everyone has at least one Sharpie in their house. If you have to use a blue one, that's fine. A red one would probably be fine. Green, whatever. Just as long as it's a dark color. So the background is going to be rainbow. Oops, did I scooch it? Make sure you're still in view. There we go. Good enough. So I've got 6 colors. You've got red, yellow, turquoise, blue, white, and black. And for the rainbow background, I'm gonna start at the top using my bigger brush and red paint. So I'm just gonna do a nice thin, even coat. Get my paint on there. I'm just gonna kind of work in strips. And I'm gonna just go right over my line. This way we don't have to like dodge the line. It's just easier to just go right over top. If you don't have a Sharpie, you could paint this the same. You would just not go over your shape, and you would just kind of go around it and then continue your stripes through the gaps between the peace sign. So it's completely doable. This is just easier, so you don't have to like take your time around edges. So I've got my red on. It's a pretty thick strip, maybe a little bit wider. But you could do this however you want. Your background doesn't even have to be rainbow. You could do solid. You could do just your favorite colors. If you wanted it to match your bedroom, do your bedroom colors. It's whatever you want. This one's pretty fun. So I've got my nice chunk of red. So my next color in the rainbow is orange. So I'm going to clean out my brush. We don't have orange on our plates, but we can easily make orange. So I'm going to do my stripe in yellow. Cleaning out my brush. So my next stripe is going to be yellow. And I'm going to just kind of overlap it a little bit onto my red. And that red, that wet red, is starting to blend in with my yellow, which is good. I'll keep with yellow, come down a little bit further. And you see I'm just kind of overlapping onto the red a little, and that color is getting on my brush and blending down into my yellow. So it's just very little. I'm just gonna take a little bit of actual red on my brush and blend that through too. It's just tiny bits. So that's starting to look orange. For my next color is going to be yellow. I'm going to clean out my brush, and I'm just going to do yellow. back to my yellow paint, and I'll do a stripe of that. So these can be thicker or thinner. If you want to go through the rainbow more than once, you would have thinner chunks. I might not even have room to do all the colors. We'll see what happens. So there's yellow. I'm going to clean out my brush. And I'm going to use the turquoise color next. Because we're going to kind of make that turquoise a green color. To start, I'm just going to start with the turquoise. I'm going to do a little strip. I'm overlapping a little onto the yellow, and that's blending, and you see how that's turning green. So now I'm just going to take some yellow on my brush and put that right on top. So it's kind of greenish. So my next stripe, I'm going to do the turquoise. So just my turquoise down here. And I'm just going to leave a little space at the bottom, because I'm going to be blending blue into this, and then at the bottom it's going to be just mostly just the blue. So I've got red, orange, yellow, green. This light turquoise blue, and I'm going to turn that more of a darker blue. So just some of the dark blue on my brush. I'll start at the bottom. And I'm just going to blend that up. So we got rainbow. So if you have more room and you have room to put purple in, next you would do, so blue and red makes purple. So you would do more of this dark blue and then blend red on top, and it should turn purple. You might need to add just a little bit of white to it if you're making purple, because it's going to be very, very dark. So if you just blend a little bit of white through it, that would help that purple color show up. So mine is completely full. At this point, I'm just going to let it dry, because I'm going to paint my peace sign white. I'm going to use a blow dryer, but you guys just sit tight and let it air dry, and then you can come back and fill in your peace sign once it's dry. So that should be good and dry. I'm just gonna go in with my big brush cleaned out. I want it nice and clean. I don't want any colors in it. Cleaned out, dried off, and I'm going to fill in the whole peace sign white. So using my white paint, I'm going to just get this filled in a nice coat of white. I'm gonna go right up over those black lines. Actually, probably the pencil line that was originally just sketched on, that may have been dark enough to see through the paint. So the Sharpie may not have been necessary, but I just like to be on the safe side. I don't want you guys to paint over your sketches and then have to freehand your peace sign. This way I know you'll still have the design on your canvas. Don't worry, you see how you could still see that Sharpie. We're gonna be outlining in black, and that will just blend right into that. Oh, I got some wet blue paint down there. It's getting smushed around. So that looks pretty good. If you want, go ahead and do 2 coats because you can still see the colors coming through a little bit, but I'm gonna just move on. It needs to be dry. I'm gonna go in and do all my black outlining. So I'm gonna blow it dry. Good enough. And then using maybe a smaller brush, you can go in and do your outline. I'm going to do it just kind of quick and loose, trying not to be absolutely perfect. My main goal, honestly, is just to get my Sharpie covered. So my big brush I'm going to use it up and down on the skinny side. So if you were to like paint with the wide side, you're gonna have a really wide line. If you paint like this, you get a nice narrow line. So I'm just coming in. I'm gonna give this a quick outline. I'm just gonna kind of scribble around my edges a little. This. You can kind of scribble in there. And there, I am all done. That looks pretty good. Definitely probably another coat of white you should do. But feel free to sign your names. I usually sign right down in here. I'll use a smaller brush and I'll just maybe make a little gray because I'll just kind of hide it in that white. So maybe a little bit of gray paint, maybe more white. add a little water to my brush and stir it in. That just helps my paint flow. And I'll sign my name. When you guys are all done, if you would please take pictures. I like seeing your finished artwork. I think it's awesome. There is a post pinned to the top of my Facebook page, Willy-Nilly, where you can upload and share your paintings. Check out everybody else's while you're there. Thank you for following along in this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.